everybody, welcome back to the channel. I have an amazing video for you guys today. We are going to be talking about the Florida real estate market, which is literally on fire. Now, I came across this article which basically is saying don't expect a crash. I mean, everybody is expecting an economic crash, and it's not looking like it, at least not in Florida. Prices are really expensive in Florida, and it seems like they're having a supply issue again, right? There's not enough inventory, and it's keeping prices really high. Another thing that's keeping prices high is basically inflation, right? There's a lot of people that have made more money, and there's more money in the economy, and that's why when you go to the grocery store, everything is so expensive. Why? Because we pumped like $10 trillion into the market during coronavirus, and that does have an effect. And the effect is that basically everything is going up in price. Now, it's crazy to me to think that Florida is doing so good, only because you have not the most desirable weather. It is warm, but it used to be affordable. But it's kind of an interesting situation. I'm going to show you why. I'm actually going to talk to you about how prices in Miami, Florida, for example, are probably more expensive than in Southern California. You guys might be thinking you're out of your mind, but the truth is, I'm going to show you some data points that will basically possibly change your mind. But anyways, this is a great article. It's basically saying there's still a lot of like people are fear of losing out, and it's basically the attitude of a lot of purchases. People do not think that the economy is going to crash. They think it's going to keep going up, and they don't want to miss out. They want to get into a house. Now, overall, I think the market is going to go down. When you start charging so much for eggs and milk and whatnot, people are going to get drained, right? But how is that going to play out? I don't think it's going to be a big crash like '08. I think it's going to be a slow downturn in the economy over time. But at the same time, with that said, there could be areas, it's looking like Florida is one of them, where it might not be as affected as much. Now, one of the issues that I do have with Florida is global warming. And I know some of you, I know it's been a topic, like you have like conservatives who literally sometimes they don't even believe in it, and then you have liberals who like they think it's the end of the world's coming tomorrow. I think the truth is somewhere in the middle, but I'll tell you my view on it. My view is that there's more storms. There's no doubt that there's more storms hitting the coast, and the issue I'm seeing is flooding insurance in particular. There's a lot of insurance companies that are not, can't insure people anymore. So or they can't afford it. Like, dude, if you live close to a flood area in South Miami, or in Miami in general, Dade County, you are going to be paying an arm and a leg for insurance, right? And not just flooding insurance, but property storm insurance. Now, what is the things that I was going to tell you? So why is South Florida more expensive than LA? The reason is because in Florida there is no state tax, and how the state generates money, from the lost revenue basically, is by having higher property taxes. On average, South Florida has about a 2% property tax. Now you might say, okay, big deal, right? Well, here in California, you have a 1% property tax. Now, we don't, in California, there is a state tax. But if you're not making that much, the state tax is not it's not going to affect you that much. You get a lot of that money back. But the nice thing is paying 1% on property taxes, it does come in handy. Now, you might say, okay, well, homes are still more expensive in LA than they are in Miami. But when you add that 2% property tax plus storm insurance, plus if you have flooding insurance, let me tell you, you're going to be paying way more money in Miami than you would in Southern California. That is almost a fact. Why? Because Homes, look at this. Let's jump over to the Redfin weekly housing market data. Now, there's still a little bit low supply, which obviously when you have low supply, it's going to keep prices high. But if you look at the median sale price in Miami, it has literally not gone down. As a matter of fact, it has gone up. So when you look at the average house selling for $466,000 in Miami, that would be the equivalent of a $1.2 million house in Southern California. Okay, so the taxes will be about the same, right? 1% in Southern California on $1 million, 2% on 500,000 in Florida, it's going to be the same. You're going to be paying about the same. But the difference is in California, you're paying about $1,000. Well, it depends on square footage, but basically you're going to be paying like $1,000 a month on insurance, property insurance, home insurance. Where in Florida, you're going to probably be paying like $20,000 a month for insurance. And that's not even including the flooding insurance. I mean, it only goes up. So you could see in situations like rich neighborhoods in Miami that are by the water, which are, highly desirable because it's nice weather. You want to be by the beach. These are multi-million-dollar homes. The flooding insurance in those homes are astronomically high. So what's going to happen? What is happening is that U.S. banks are no longer doing flooding insurance. These flooding companies, insurance companies, have been having to go outside of the country to other banks around the world to get financing, right? But that's going to soon end. And once that ends, you're going to see situations, again, because of global warming, rising sea levels, bigger storms, you're going to see situations where you're going to have these beautiful, beautiful neighborhoods. They're going to be cash only because no bank is going to want to, get in it, want to lend money to homes that don't have flooding insurance. And if we can't get flooding insurance, it's going to, in my opinion, it's going to completely destroy the housing market. Now, it's not going to happen tomorrow. It's not going to happen next year. But you are going to see if they start getting big storms, and all indications are showing that we're having more and more storms, and everything is more expensive, right? TVs are more expensive. Just think about your house, like fridges and couches, and everything is more expensive. So when you start you start pulling up those insurance claims, you could see that, it used to cost, it's going to be costing the insurance companies a lot more money to pay people. Now, I heard many stories in South Florida where you have people, the insurance companies are reassessing people's policies. So they're basically, before they renew, they come to your house and say, hey, you want to renew this policy, you're going to have to, get a new roof or upgrade your house and this and that. And it just drains you. Imagine, when you're going into the market paying, $8, $10 for eggs, and now the insurance company is asking you to, put a new roof on your house, or else they're going to cut you from the insurance policy. You see that things are getting kind of crazy, and people are, in my opinion, don't have that kind of money. So right now, I think the economy is going through a process of basically getting the cash out of people's hands any which way possible. And I think eventually we're going to have a big downturn in the economy. I don't necessarily think it's going to be a crash overnight, but it's going to basically keep going down and down and down. Now, again, if you look at this chart right here in Miami, Florida, it doesn't show any indications of slowing down. But, how long can this keep going up, right? And, FOMO is great. I love FOMO. You want to get in before all the craziness, but at one point you got to realize like you do not want to be buying at the top. And I definitely feel that because prices are going up and rent is astronomically high, things are going to get a little bit wonky, and I'm getting a little bit nervous actually with things being so expensive. So we're just going to have to see how that all plays out. But basically, there's not that many listings out there. It's going to keep prices high, and inflation is high. Things are costing a lot of money, so you could see how that translates to every aspect of our economy. Where is it going to go? We're going to have to monitor it very closely. But again, I encourage you guys to sign up to this channel, subscribe, because I'm going to be bringing you the latest up-to-date news up from around the United States. And if I find stories from other parts of the world, I will bring those to you also. Now, if you live in Miami or you live in LA, please give me your thoughts. Where do you rather live, LA or Miami? LA's got a huge homeless problem that is becoming a big problem. But at the same time, Florida has its own set of problems, right? With storms, and they also have a crime problem, right? There is a lot of crime in those areas. But actually, both cities have a lot of crime. So literally, there's nowhere to go these days. America is just becoming super expensive. And I don't know how it's all going to play out. But unless we're getting huge raises at work, unless we're making over $150,000 a year, it's going to be very hard to make it in this country. You add expensive healthcare, and we'll see what happens. Now, think about the AI revolution that's happening right now. What is that going to do to the job market? Is that going to kill jobs? Basically everything's becoming automated, and it's very scary. Well, where are people going to work? You can't expect everybody to be a robot engineer. Some people are just not built like that. They're not smart like that. So we're going to need jobs for regular people that actually pay decent, or else we're going into very turbulent times. That's my prediction. Now, thank you guys so much for watching. Please stay tuned. A lot more coming. And I hope you love this video. And I love when you guys comment. So please go comment down below and share it with anybody that you might want to hear some of this stuff. Okay, thank you guys so much for watching. I love you guys, and I'll see you on the next video.